my topic today is leadership and team leading. And leadership is it's a lot like improv music, right? Let me show you what I mean. All right. Thank you, everybody. So I did that because I want to make a point, right? When you have a team, you need a group of people to make a good sound, right? To make a song, if you will. So today I'm going to be talking about leading teams and leading teams effectively. And what I really want to go over is some misconceptions that really prevent a lot of leaders from leading their teams effectively. Number one, the idea that leadership is top-down. Number two, the idea that you're stuck with your team and the roles that they are assigned. And number three, the idea that all team members are commodities. So number one, the idea that leadership is top-down is absolutely false. We've all heard the saying that, poop rolls downhill, insert your own word. But that's management, right? Management is really about keeping the team, the organization from going backwards, whereas leadership is really looking forwards, right? Creating a vision and pushing your team towards that vision. Maybe the exception of the military, maybe that's one place where it is actually top-down. There is no I in team, right? The moment as a leader that you forget that you believe that you're higher or lower than your team is the moment your team stops listening to you, right? Stops believing in your vision. An example, with the Saxons is I didn't tell them, you have to be here today, right? If I did, it didn't matter if I was their section leader, it didn't matter if I was the mayor, right? If I told them, you have to be here, they probably wouldn't have showed up. Instead, I challenged them, right? I said, Dr. Penrose actually believed we couldn't get the marching band in here, so let's see if we can do it. And so what that was, it's a bag. It's a big, hairy, audacious goal. And as much as I wish I could have been the one to come up with that, that's actually from a book called Good to Great by Jim Collins. If you get a chance, read it. And what the goal is, the bag is something that can serve as the focal points for the efforts of your team, right? It's the goal that everyone's going to be pushing towards. So some examples of the bag: a computer on every desk and in every home. That was from Bill Gates in 1980, right, when Microsoft was fairly new. Today, I think we can all agree that that goal was accomplished. Another one, every book ever printed in any language, all available in less than 60 seconds. That was Jeff Bezos, CEO of Amazon, when he released the Kindle in 2007. Today, they have 60% of the ebook market. This one, I hope you guys can guess, but the nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth. That, of course, was JFK in 1962. 7 years later, we made it to the moon and back. And of course, I had to throw this in. Elected 22-year-old as mayor. How could I not? And of course, that's my campaign. So that's misconception number one. Number two is the idea that you're stuck with your team and the roles that they are assigned. Again, going back to Good to Great, picture a bus, right? A school bus, and everyone has a seat on the bus. Your job as a leader is to make sure not only do you have the right people on the bus, but they have the right seat on the bus. So do everyone a favor, and I'm not saying fire your team members, right? I'm saying think about that bag, right? Really challenge your team, re-articulate that bag, and see if they are 110% behind it or not. If they're not, maybe point out, they're not on the right bus, or maybe they're not in the right seat. Experiment, try a few things. That's how you get a really effective, a really good team. And the bus, trust me, it'll drive itself. Right people on the bus, magic school bus, but I was like, you guys probably can't relate to that. There's something, you probably are more familiar with, right? And that really matters who you're sitting next to. Number three, the third misconception is team members are commodities. And the reason I put dumb on there is because when you have that mentality, you are wasting potential, right? The potential of your team, of the capabilities of your team members, right? If you think that everyone on your team is exactly the same, that's incorrect. And what that's going to lead you to do is, frankly, not utilize everyone's abilities, everyone's skills. So really, never forget that everyone is different, right? Today we had 3 alto saxes and a tenor sax, but there's also a bari sax, a soprano sax, and each one plays in its own register, makes its own different sound, if you will, and when you put them all together, you have a fantastic song. Play to their strengths. Play to their strengths. I wouldn't take the bari piece, the baritone sax part of the music, because it wouldn't sound good on my alto. Likewise, they wouldn't take the alto piece. So when you have a team, really be strategic. Really analyze your team. Who's good at what? Who has what skills? Who has what abilities? And play to it. And the beauty of when you play to your strengths and play to your team's strengths is they're going to get you better work for less effort in a quicker amount of time. Another example of that is, a few slides ago I had the logo of my campaign. By no means am I an artist. I did not come up with that. If I had to come up with my own logo, it would have been a stick figure like running around, and it would have taken me hours to come up with that. Instead, I went to a friend, she's an artist. That took her about 10 minutes, right? So there's a good example of playing to your strengths. Finally, in conclusion, just don't forget, right? Again, these are the top misconceptions that leaders do come up with. Don't forget, it's not top down, it's bottom up. You are one of many. You're stuck with your team and the roles they're assigned. Have some flexibility, have some fun, have some room to experiment with who should be in what role and what seat. And finally, each team member is different. So really celebrate the diversity that each team member brings to the table. And ultimately, as a leader, it's up to you to decide what kind of band you're going to have, right? What kind of song you're going to make, what kind of result you're going to get from your team. Thank you very much.